because we knew Vernon wouldn't give us any money back unless we had a receipt.
That's one of those stories. That was life with Elvis. These adventures like that happen. And I love the different perspectives of what all you saw. And Charles, you were telling me upstairs that you guys get together, you and Sam get together. You get hamburgers in Dallas.
We get a hamburger every Tuesday in Dallas at a different hamburger place every Tuesday.
And and you said what happens? You invariably start telling stories.
Well, we get to talk, and then the three of us as well.
Yeah.
Dixon about it on occasion.
Yeah.
Not very often. But once we all get together, I have to tell you, stories come out that have been back here for years that we forget about. I mean, it's amazing to hear. I mean, I wish we could record some of these times because, man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's really, it's fun, and these are my best buds here.
Yeah, and I've got this photo, and Sam, this was taken backstage at the Orpheum Theater in Memphis. Joe Gershio, Joe Mosqueo, Terry Blackwood, Memphis Jones back there, myself and Sam. And this was, to me, people say it must be fun to do all these things and host these events and get to meet these people. And I say it's fun on stage, but the shows back in the green room, where you guys, I just would try to sit and be very quiet and just listen to all you guys tell stories.
Well, and I lived in Vegas for 14 years, and so Dick and I would have lunch every week. Same thing out there now in Dallas, but we'd get together and tell these stories. But this is one of my favorite pictures. The maestro, Joe Gershio, he and I did riverboat cruises. Scott and I were talking about that earlier when Graceland sponsored those riverboat, an American riverboat queen from Memphis to New Orleans and back. Right. And Joe and I did those for 5 years, and I was with him just shortly before he passed away. But he was a great friend of mine, and he and Mosqueo, they told me they were going to make me an Italian. So they taught me how to drink, what is that drink? Something in soda. Campari and soda. I didn't know what it was, but they decided they were going to make me an Italian. They taught me just a couple of vignettes. Memphis Jones's father is named Bob Jones. And when I was a sheriff's deputy and I'd ride from District 1 in the South, that was it abutted Whitehaven. And his father was a police officer who rode a Memphis police car down there. And we would back each other up on hot calls between the city and the county. Years later, I'm on that riverboat, and Memphis Jones is performing, and I'm looking in the audience, and there's a guy sitting there that I know, but I don't know how I know him. And that was his father. We called him Flash because he could run so fast. True story.
Wow. It's just, that's what I say, these amazing stories and these moments that you guys share with the fans, and it's the kind of thing that I think is so important that these stories are shared, and that you guys still have this friendship. And Charles, you had the best line upstairs. You said, "Can you believe we are sitting here all these years later and still having fun because of Elvis and getting to meet fans because of Elvis?"
Oh man, we share so many laughs. I mean, we have a warped sense of humor, the three of us.
Really?
Especially this one.
Not me.
Yeah, you probably didn't notice that.
People that don't know us, if they heard how we banter each other, they'd think we didn't like each other. But we have a ball. And here we are, we're at this age in life, we're laughing all the time and just having the time of our life because we were so blessed to have the common bond with Elvis with us.
Yeah.
And Elvis' sense of humor was, but he loved things like the Peter Sellers movies, and Monty Python. If you ever watched any of that, it's kind of that off-kilter kind of humor. And he liked people that had that kind of humor, and he liked having those people around him, which is why he got us misfits.
Didn't you say you went around for quite a while, one night or one day or week, talking like Inspector Clouseau?
Yeah. You have the reason. And actually, we were in Cincinnati when Elvis decided the room was too hot. And I looked out in the hall one day, and he's standing there with his hair was all stuck up, and this was, like Dick said, Elvis didn't get up, during the day, but he was up. And David Stanley was there, and he looked at me in a panicked look and said, "We're going downstairs." And so I ran over there, and David hit the elevator, and so David and I took Elvis down to the first floor, and he said, "It's hot in my room," and I was looking out the window, and there's a Radisson, I think it was, across the street, and I'm going to go there and get a room. And so we hit the lobby, and I think Ed Parker was in the lobby, and we're waving at him. And so Ed Parker and David and I, we go out in the street, we have those red tour jackets on. And we're out there holding our hands up because Elvis just walks right out in the street. And we're holding our hands up, cars are screaming, shut and everything like this. And we get across the street, and Elvis gets there before any of us do, and he walks right up to the desk clerk, and he says, "Do you have a room?" So help me God, that's true. So the desk clerk doesn't even look up. He said, "Sir, we're booked. Elvis is in town." There stands Elvis, and he had like a DEA jacket on and like that. And so, Ed and I, so we're hustling. So we said, "Can we get him into the manager's office or something?" Because the crowd was building. So we get him into the manager's office, and he said, "We have 2 rooms in the whole hotel." And so we put Elvis in one room, and we put Al Strada and the wardrobe in the other room. And I guess about that time, somebody called Dick to let him know where the hell we were.
I'm talking to the policeman. You ever seen Elvis? Anybody get him out and pick him up?
Grob's lost him again.
Well, I'm at the building, and Joe Esposito calls over and says, "Y'all know where Elvis is?" "Why would we know where Elvis is? He's with you." He said, "He's not here." Joe didn't know. Somebody forgot to tell Joe.
I'll tell you what, we flew out of that town to the next city, and the manager of that hotel had already got the word, and you could hang meat in that room. Walk in that room, you could see your breath. But it shows you just how, Elvis had that kind of odd sense of humor, but at the same time, how extemporaneous and spontaneous he was. And Dick I used to love the phrase that he coined. He said, called it Grob's Unlimited Substitution Room. Because no matter what you planned, it was going to go wrong, and you had to make changes with Elvis. We had to pretty much be on our feet all the time.
People that know about my relationship with you guys and working with Graceland and hosting these Elvis events that are not Elvis fans, they ask me sometimes, "Oh, well, what can you tell me about Elvis? Like, what kind of guy was he?" And I said, here's my quick story. Elvis buys a jet plane, the Lisa Marie, and it's a retired Delta jet, and he's having it customized in Dallas, and it's going to take months. So while they're customizing his big jet, he buys a smaller jet so he can fly back and forth to see the progress. I guess that's Elvis. He bought a plane so he could check on his plane.
And when you use Elvis's name for anything, like when we're actually working with him and for him, it'll open any door in the world. Anything. When I got after about 2 or 3 years of booking the venues, if I called up and there was a basketball game at the Omni or whatever, we could move it. For Elvis, today they couldn't do that, but back then, they would move hockey games, they would move anything for an Elvis Presley concert.
And how easier your job would have been with today's technology.
We didn't have a cell phone back then.
Exactly. How the communication that you guys had when you left the hotel, you were out in the wilderness. Who knew where you were?
See, Dick and I had to communicate about backstage passes, what color, size, etc. And if we didn't do it in person, he'd come over in the afternoon, and there was no way to do it. There was no phones.
Yeah.
But we did it the old-fashioned way, but it got done.
Well, I think one big advantage of Elvis having 2 ex-police officers is that, we developed a lot of camaraderie with different officers. I was still carrying credentials from the Sheriff's Department in Memphis, and Dick had credentials from the Memphis Police Department, Sheriff's Department in Palm Springs. So we connected with the cops. And so we would always have access to their walkie-talkies. We had no cell phones back then. So if I was with Elvis, or let's say I was with the Colonel or at the venue, and Dick was bringing Elvis in, then we would each have access to a police radio. And there were policemen always there near Charles, and so we could communicate. I don't know what we would have done without that. But I'll tell you this, I'm glad those police radios couldn't take pictures like these cell phones.
Well, Dick always says it best, that we actually set the bar for security for artists.
Yeah. Nobody was traveling like that.
Exactly.
nobody had thought that far ahead, because no one was as big, and it's hard to explain to kids today how big this guy was in showbiz. He was, take the top 5, 6 actors, singers today, and he was still twice them.
I'll tell you, a lot of people, and I'm certain most people don't understand this or know this, but we know the federal government and how big they are, and you can't get anything done. When Elvis passed away, we had to send Lisa Marie to Los Angeles to pick up Priscilla and some other people. That aircraft got airborne. The FAA cleared the path of every other aircraft there for that plane, for that task, both ways.
They opened up, yeah. Elvis dated